Hello and welcome to this week's Friday Show. I'm Peyton Hobson with World News. Earlier this week, the United Nations appealed for over $200 million to be used to provide life-saving assistance to over 500,000 people affected by the conflict in Libya. According to the Voice of America today, it is estimated that nearly half of those affected are children. The spokesperson for the United Nations Office of Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, Jens Lark, said the majority of the people in need are in highly populated urban areas of the western and eastern hemisphere of Libya. According to people with the most critical and severe needs are in the coastal area of Sirte and in the southern parts of the country where access is difficult due to instability. In other news, Donald Trump has announced the removal of all 2,000 U.S. troops stationed in Syria. What makes this controversial is that he did so without first consulting General Joseph Votel, the current head of the U.S. Central Command. Time magazine quotes General Votel saying he was not consulted and that he was not aware of the specific announcement, in reference to the video Donald Trump posted on Twitter explaining that he had ordered the withdrawal of all U.S. troops. Now, over to Drew with National News.
Thanks, Peyton. A terrible accident occurred in Southern California when a twin-engine plane malfunctioned mid-flight and crashed into a home earlier this week. The pilot, 75-year-old Antonia Pastilli, took off from Fullerton, California. The plane climbed to just under 8,000 feet when it reportedly caught fire and began disassembling before plummeting to the ground without a distress call. The aircraft crashed into a family home in Yorba Linda. The crash left 5 dead, including the pilot. 3 others were injured as falling debris damaged homes across a 4-block area. We will keep you updated as information surfaces. The world of music had an abrupt shakeup earlier in the week when Grammy-nominated rapper 21 Savage was arrested by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, to the shock of many. With this arrest came the revelation that Savage, whose birth name is Shaya Ben Abraham Joseph, was in fact born in the United Kingdom and came to the United States in 2005. Reportedly, his visa expired in 2006. A lawyer for the rapper stated the arrest was initially based on incorrect information about prior criminal charges, and that ICE would use this as a means of getting to him, despite a pending U visa application. We'll be right back after this break.
Welcome back. I'm Joe Wade with State News. Over 50 pounds of medical marijuana was recalled across Michigan in January due to traces of E. coli, arsenic, cadmium, and salmonella. The marijuana had been intended for medical use, but was not tested because the Medical Marijuana Licensing Board felt that it was more important to meet the industry shortage. The producers of the tainted strain of marijuana say that they want people to get the help they need and know what they are ingesting, but claim there's no way of testing how contaminated the product is. The government of India is urging ICE to release 129 foreign Indian students enrolled in a fake university in Detroit. Reports indicated that the college in question convinced many people trying to remain in the U.S. on student visas to enroll in the fake university. Federal prosecutors are calling it a pay-to-stay scheme, claiming the students knew that they would not be taking actual classes. India's Minister of External Affairs has made a statement voicing concern about how the students are being treated. The students have not yet been released, but the Indian government has continued to voice their support and concern. Aubrey?
Thanks, Joe. This week, General Motors started the layoff process for about 4,300 white-collar workers worldwide. In November, the company announced their plans to cut 8,000 salaried and contract workers in an effort to raise profits and increase investment in electric cars. Only 2,200 white-collar workers took buyouts and 1,500 were let go. GM said that they also will be shutting down the Canadian and 4 U.S. factories. That means another 5,000 jobs will be eliminated. Only 2,700 employees will be offered transfers to other factories. A neighborhood near the star of the West Milling Company in Frankenmuth was coated in flour after the frigid weather last week caused a pipe at the factory to separate. The flour sprayed out of the pipe during an overnight transfer of flour from one part of the facility to another. Residents mistook the falling flour for snow, rain, and damp weather, and the next few days left the flour stuck to homes, sidewalks, and driveways. The company said that the flour was non-toxic and it was not harmful. They stated, "We deeply regret any inconvenience to our neighbors, and we are committed to partnering with any affected homeowners to support a complete cleanup." We'll be right back after this break.
Joe's Garage Sports Pub is a full-service source for great food, fun, and entertainment. From great lunches available any day of the week, Thursday 2 for the price of 1 pizzas, and a variety of entrees anytime your appetite demands, Joe's Garage Sports Pub is ready to serve your needs. With entertainment ranging from bike and car nights to local, state, national sports on TV, as well as live entertainment, come on in and have some fun at Joe's Garage. We service all makes and models.
Welcome back. I'm Hannah Hahn with this week's movie review. This week we took a look at director Adam Ravitel's horror thriller Escape Room. In this story, 6 adults were offered $10,000 each to complete a series of puzzles to try to escape the rooms they had been placed in. The game master picked the 6 adults because they were the lone survivors of separate tragedies. The 6 rooms were designed with each particular survivor in mind. The contestants soon discovered each room was a trap, and the game was life or death struggle. Escape Room has been compared to the famous Saw series, but with less blood and gore. If you like horror flicks, you will love Escape Room. It's a real thriller, and there is no better place to see it than Imagine Cinemas in Birch Run. Next, we'll hear from David with sports.
Thanks, Hannah. I'm David Sackrider with sports. The Montrose boys varsity basketball team received another crushing defeat last night, this time to the Panthers of Montmorris. The Rams couldn't do much to stifle Montmorris superstar J.D. Rawls, who finished the night with 23 and led his team to 66-37 victory. The Rams look ahead to avenge a loss to the Byron Eagles on Monday at 7 in Byron. The girls varsity basketball team fell to the Chesaning Indians Tuesday night in a midweek MMAC matchup, losing 47-24. They look to take another win over the Montmorris Panthers tonight at 7. The wrestling team entered the team district tournament last night and came out champions. After wins over Brighton, Madison Heights Lamphere, and Rochester Adams, the Rams were able to meet the Martians of Goodrich in the finals. Freshman Thor Robbins clinched the title for the Rams with a pin in the 103 weight class to send his team to the regionals. Next up for them is the individual district tournament, which you can catch live coverage of right here tomorrow on MDM-TV.com. Looking to collegiate sports, Michigan bounced back from a loss to Iowa by capturing a commanding 77-65 win over the Rutgers Scarlet Knights Tuesday night. Ignas Brzezikis led the charge for the Wolverines with 23, while Xavier Simpson and Jordan Poole each pitched in 14 and 15 respectively. Now standing alone on top of the Big Ten, Michigan looks to stretch that lead with a win over Wisconsin tomorrow at noon. Michigan State suffered their 3rd straight loss Tuesday night, falling 79-74 to the unranked Illinois Fighting Illini in the final minutes of the game. A pair of threes from Ayo Doshunu sealed the deal for the Fighting Illini as the Spartans missed 4 straight field goal attempts with 2 minutes to go. Michigan State looks to break the streak with a win over Minnesota tomorrow at 2. And the Pistons were able to capture a win over the struggling New York Knicks Tuesday by a score of 105-92. Blake Griffin continues to stand out for Detroit, ending the night with 29 points, 6 rebounds, and 8 assists. Andre Drummond pitched in a double-double with 17 points and 16 boards to seal the deal. The Pistons head back home tonight, and the Knicks will come with them as Detroit takes on New York in Little Caesars Arena at 7. That'll do it for this week's MDM-TV.com Friday show. Tune in tonight for our coverage of the girls basketball doubleheader with the JV tipping off at 5:30 and varsity at 7. Until then, for everyone involved, thank you for tuning in, and so long.